Men take accountability. You make a wrong action, you apologize, and you take accountability. That's when you're acting like a man. They're working on. All right. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Yeah, Obama, we're recording. The whole world gonna hear you crying now.
Oh, Yazid.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. So before I get started on our class in Adab Mufrad, we need to talk about al-muraqabah. And this, as it goes back to the hadith when the Prophet, when Jibril asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam about ihsan, and what did he say? He said, al-ihsan. Right? Yo, man, y'all gotta calm him down again. Like, he's gonna have to leave the masjid. You're disturbing the class, akhi, khalas. First you disturbed the salat, now you're disturbing the class. Say it again. Take that thing off your face, man. It's not one at a time. And تعبد الله كأنك تراه ايش؟ فَلَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. So that you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you see Him, and if you're not able to do that, then you at least worship Him and know that what? That He sees you. And this is like what? Al-muraqabah. That you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees you in every single thing that you do. And this is the reason why I told you to pull up this hadith, and it's on Abi Hurairah, right? The narrator of the hadith, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أنه سمع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول. I'm saying, just correct me if I make a mistake. أن ثلاثة من بني إسرائيل
في
ها؟
ثلاثة في بني إسرائيل.
It's a different narration. Correct me with major mistakes, not narration mistakes.
This is the speech of the Prophet.
I know, but it's different narrations. أن ثلاثة من بني إسرائيل أبرص وأقرأ وأعمى أراد الله أن يبتليهم, because it's متفق عليه. You have the narrations that are in Bukhari, they have different wordings. So the main thing is if I have any issues with the actual yeah. So أن ثلاثة من بني إسرائيل يعني أراد الله أن يبتليهم فأرسل إليه ملكا فأتى الأبرص فقال أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال جلد حسن ولون حسن ويذهب عني الذي قد قدرني الناس فيه. فمسحه فذهب عنه قدره وأعطي لون حسن وجلد حسن. فقال أي المال أحب إليك؟ قال البقر أو الإبل الشكراوي. Calm down. Trust me, man, I'm probably memorized that hadith when you were a child. Relax. Shakarawi, right? Alright, well, no, it's Ibl, I'll call it Bakr, right? No, you're right. No, it's Ibl, I'll call it Bakr. No. So I gotta calm down. Alright, Shakarawi, right? So, for Arutiya, what? What was he given?
هو شك في ذلك إن الأبرص.
That's a different narration that you read than the other one that I memorized. But all right. But he was given what? قال أي المال أحب إليك؟ قال إبل أو قال بقر فشك راوي فأعطي وش؟ Was it ناقة or what does it say? يا أخي y'all messing up the hadith. Because I don't know what y'all went to. No, I'm telling you to look for the hadith, and y'all went to like Sheikh bin Baz.
قال أحدهم الإبل وقال الآخر البقر.
No, for Urtiya.
ناقة عشرة.
No, but that's not. I mean, Hamila in the other narration. So for Urtiya ناقة حاملة فقال بارك الله لك فيها. فأتى الأقرع فقال أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال شعر حسن ويذهب عني الذي قد قدرني الناس فيه. فمسحه فذهب عنه فأعطي شعرا حسنا فقال أي المال يهب إليك؟ قال البقر فأعطي بقرة والدة.
حاملة.
ها؟
بقرة حاملة.
الحاملة. Okay. Alright. حاملة. ثم أتى فقال بارك الله لك فيها. فأتى الأعمى فقال أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال أن يرد الله إلي بصري فأبصر به الناس. فمسحه فرد الله إليه بصره. فقال أي المال أحب إليك؟ قال الغنم. And there's a hikmah, the blind man, he chose sheep, and the other two, but we'll get to that in a minute. So he said, al-ghanam, fa'utiya, wish? Shatan walidan. That's where the walidan is. Alright. Shatan walidan. فقال بارك الله لك فيها. فكان لهذا واد من الإبل ولهذا واد من البقر ولهذا واد من الغنم. Now, so this is the beauty of this hadith. So let's go over the hadith now in English until we get to this last part, because this is the shahid of what we're going to get to. So these three people from Bani Israel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wanted to test them. Right? So He sent an angel to them, and he went to them and he said, okay, what is the one thing that you want? What is it? Whatever you want, He's going to give it to you. So he went to the first guy, the leper, the abras. The guy with the skin disease, the leprosy. So he said, what do you want? He said, I want good skin and nice skin, and a good complexion. And so that all so everything that the people insult me with, and it will go away. They can't insult me anymore. So the angel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave him this, So Allah returned and gave him beautiful skin, and then He said, "What wealth? What do you want? Like what's the most beloved wealth to you?" And he said, Ibn. So he chose the most expensive of all the wealth, right? So it goes to show you, Jisha. So it's like, instead of being humble, what did he choose? He chose the most expensive wealth.
Most precious.
Yeah, the most precious of wealth. Chose the Ibn. He chose the camels. And then the angel made dua for him. He said, barakallahu laka fiha. And may Allah put blessing in everything that you've been given. Then he went to the next guy. He went to the Aqra, the guy who was bald, lost his hair. So he said, what about you? What do you want? He said, I want you to return my hair to me, and so the people will stop insulting me. So he masahahu, he wiped him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returned his hair to him. Alright, he's given beautiful hair. Not just returned his hair, but he was given beautiful hair, right? So then he said, what wealth is the most beloved wealth to you? And he said, al-baqar. So he said, cows, second most precious wealth. You see the jasha from the first two, right? No humbleness. Alright, and this is going to come back on him, right? So, and then after that the angel said, barakallahu laka fiha. So may Allah put blessing in everything that you've been given. So then he went to the third person, which is the blind man, the al-a'ma. And he said, what is it that you want? He said, all I want, now watch this, now pay attention to this. Look at the two answers, the first two answers. What did he say? He said, أي شيء أحب إليك؟ قال شعر حسن. The first one said, جلد حسن ولون حسن ويذهب عني الذي قدرني الناس فيه. So he was concerned about the people. And he said, just get this atrocity away from me. Just get it away from me. The third guy, and the second guy said the same thing, if you focus, the same answer. What did the third guy say? The third guy, the blind man, so focus on his response. It's a beautiful response. Most people don't focus on his answer. He said, يَرُدَّ اللَّهُ إِلَيَّ بَصَرِي. You understand? So even, you see the first two, what did they do? They said, just give me hair, give me this, give me that. But they didn't say it from Allah. They didn't, put that ni'mah back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, but the blind man did. The blind man said, يَرُدَّ اللَّهُ إِلَيَّ بَصَرِي فَأُبْصِرُ النَّاسِ. That's all I want. That's all I want. And then he asked him, he said, well, أَيُّ مَالَ أَحَبُّ إِلَيْكَ? What's the most beloved wealth to you? And he said, al-ghanam, which is the most humble of wealth. So you see the humbleness of the man. First off, he put the ni'mah back to Allah. I want this ni'mah from Allah. And I want just give me the basic wealth that I need to maintain myself. Okay, take it. That's that, right? ثم what? فأتى, then the Malik, he comes back to the Abras, right? في صورته وهيئته فقال إيش. Now he's, in the same appearance that he used to be. He came as a leper, came as a poor man, a leper. فقال رجل مسكين ابن السبيل قال انقطع بي السبل فلا إيش فلا بلاغ لي اليوم. ما شاء الله, my son memorized the hadith. Alright, فلا بلاغ لي اليوم إلا بالله ثم بك. See how the Malik, even, you see the Tawheed. So he should know that he's being tested right now from Allah. He said, إلا بالله ثم بك. أسألك بالذي أعطاك اللون الحسن والجلد الحسن. And what is it? Naqa, what is it? What did he say?
مال بعيرا.
بعيرا أتبلغ به في سفري. Just one. You have a whole what? Like a whole valley full of camels now. Just give me one that I can use to get through in my travels. And what did he say? What was his response? Al-huquq kathira. Oh, there's so many rights and so many people want things. This one wants this. So basically saying, no, I'm not giving you anything. And then what did the angel say to him? He said, Kani a'rifuk. It's like I know you. Alam takun abras yaqdaruka an-nas faqiran fa'ataka Allah. Were you not a leper? And the people used to insult you in the streets, وَفَقِيرًا فَأَعْطَاكَ اللَّهُ, and you used to be poor and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you. He said, and look at the mutakabbir, look at the arrogance of this man. Then he said, لَا إِنَّمَا وَرِثْتَ هَذَا الْمَالْ كَابِرًا أَنْ كَابِرًا. He said, no, I just inherited this wealth from a person who died, from a person who died, from a person, saying like, no, you're whatever.
From his forefathers.
Yeah, from his fathers. So then he said, فَإِن كُنْتَ كَاذِبًا فَسَيَّرَكَ اللَّهُ إِلَى مَا كُنْتَ فِيهِ. And the angel made dua against him. So in the first time, he made dua what? Barakallahu laka fiha. But then when he came back and tested him, he made dua against him, and he said, إِن كُنْتَ كَاذِبًا فَسَيَّرَكَ اللَّهُ إِلَى مَا كُنْتَ. So he said, if you're lying about what you just said, then may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala return you back to the state that you were in before. And of course we know the hadith, it doesn't mention whether or not that he was returned, but we know he was. Because it's an angel making dua. So we know bila shak that man was returned to the state.
So when an angel make dua, it's like a guarantee to dua.
No, he is sent by the commands of Allah. Allah is testing him. So Allah sent the angel in the form of a human to test him. And that's the beginning of the hadith, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala arada yabtaliyahum. So this is a test from Allah. So then he went to the next guy, to the Aqra. فقال له مثل ما قال لهذا ورد عليه مثل ما رد هذا. So he said to him the same thing, and then he responded in the same manner. And he said, فَإِن كُنْتَ كَاذِبًا فَسَيَّرَكَ اللَّهُ إِلَى مَا كُنْتَ. And also you, if you're lying, then may Allah return you to the state that you used to be in. So of course he goes back to being bold and poor. Alright. ثُمَّ أَتَى الْأَعْمَى فِي صُورَتِهِ وَهَيَّتِهِ فَقَالَ رجل مسكين وابن السبيل قال انقطع بي السبل في سفري فلا بلاغ لي اليوم إلا بالله ثم بك أسألوك بالذي رد عليك بصرك شاة أتبلغ بها بسفري. He said, so he came to the blind man in the same appearance as he used to be, a poor blind man. And he said, I'm a miskin man, And all my path has been cut off, and all my ways to get back to my family have been cut off. Ibn Sabil, he's trying to get back to his family, but he has no means to get back. So he said, please, just give me one sheep. From all that Allah has given you, just one sheep so I can go on my way and continue my journey. But he said, I ask you by the one who returned your vision to you, just one sheep. So he said, and this is part, I told you, that's why I put this chapter in my book. I said, can you read this hadith without crying?
Oh, the lesson.
Yes, this is it. So he said, قَالَ كُنْتُ أَعْمَى وَرَدَّ اللَّهُ إِلَيَّ بَصَرِي فَخُذْ مَا شِئْتَ وَدَعْ مَا شِئْتَ فَوَاللَّهِ لَا أَشْهَدُكَ الْيَوْمَ بِشَيْءٍ أَخَذْتَهُ لِلَّهِ. So he said, I used to be blind, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returned my vision to me. So he said, and I'm not going to, he said, you should take whatever you want, and leave whatever you want. Because wallahi, I'm not going to press you on anything that you take today. Whatever you want, take it. You know, and he said, Amsik alayka malik. Keep your money. فَقَالَ أَبْتُلِيتُمْ. You know, because you've been tested. وَقَالَ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْكَ وَسَخِطَ عَنْ صَاحِبَيْكَ. So he said that, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you, but he's angry at your two companions, even though he doesn't know them, but because of his companions in the story. So this shows you the muraqabah, that we don't know that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to test us. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends something to you to test you, to see how you're going to act. كَيْفَ تَعْمَلُونَ. How are you going to act with this thing? Are you going to do what's right? Are you going to do what's just? Are you going to follow the laws of Islam? Are you going to abide by the Quran and the Sunnah? Or are you going to start to make these exceptions? So when we talk about the chicken and things like that, well, I said this is the property of the people. I don't care if it's a kafir. I don't care who it belongs to. We're Muslims. You know, we don't want anything that doesn't belong to us except for something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to us by halal means. So us going back and we look at this and that chicken coming into the masjid is a test from Allah. Just like you see these people getting tested. They got tested. And we get tested in so many different ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test you, you know, throughout your day, throughout your life.
So, but with the chicken though, it's like, even if the chicken was in danger, like...
No, you was in danger, you take it to safety and then find out who it belongs to and give it back to the person it belongs to. Like right now, you got it to safety. Now if we can feed it, you know, to keep it healthy and feed it, and then now we need to find out who it belongs to. And then when we go back and say, look, this is the masjid, and this chicken came into the masjid, we just want to know, is this your chicken? Oh yeah, we lost the chicken. But that's on them, that's not on us. You understand? But us, you know, being Muslim and showing the people that we don't do this type of behavior. You know, and we got to look at every single thing like that, like it's a test. You find money on the ground, that's a test. Like you got to deal with it like, man, Allah is testing me. You understand? Some girl that comes up to you and, you know, that just fits the description of the most beautiful girl that you ever wanted, and now she starts chit-chatting with you. Allah is testing you. It's testing you. No. So you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta act right. You gotta always keep that muraqab in mind.
People think that they're only tested with the bad stuff. They don't know with affliction. Like they don't know that you could be tested with khayr.
The Salaf, I think, were more concerned about being tested with the ni'mah than anything else. When the money started coming, and that's why Imam Ahmed, when he mentioned the fitna, he said, I don't know which was a worse of a fitna. What went before or what came after? Because when people, after he was allowed to teach and then everybody's trying to give him money, and he said that fitna was worse than the fitna of being in the prison getting beaten. Right. Yeah, because there he was connected, you know what I'm saying? He knows like this is a test, but this puts you through the grinder, I think. You know, like the wealth, the women, you know, these are the things that are beautified for the people, you know, the wealth and the women and the children, and Allah tests you with these things, you know, to see if you're going to act right. So, I mean, we as Muslims, we always got to constantly feel like, you know, we're under, because this is what this dunya is about. This is dar al-balad. You know, this is not a vacation. This is not our time to relax. Every second of every day is a test, and every second of every day, it's like, what are you going to do? When you wake up right now, you're tired. You know, you didn't get home until late last night, and you didn't eat dinner until late, and now that alarm goes off, and it's time to go to Fajr. You're being tested. You know, you get up today, it might be difficult, and Allah makes it easy tomorrow. All right, you know, same thing, you know, all different things. You know, throughout our whole life, we get tested with the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see how these three got tested. You think that can't happen to us? You think that an angel can't come in a human form? How would you know? Like, how did they know that was an angel that came to them?
He was just handsome or something? Like,
how would you know? When he came back to them, he came in their form. He came in the form that they used to be in. He came in the exact form that they used to be in, which is not beautiful. You know, and that's why they looked at him like, oh, you know, get away from me, because he reminds them of what he used to be.
So angels don't need, so angels could be ugly too then?
No, they're not ugly. Oh. But I'm saying they can take on whatever form that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows them to take on. Okay. You know, the main form that Jibril used to take on was what?
Form of man.
Yeah. What? Well, the form of specifically of who? He was considered the most beautiful of the Arabs.
His name,
It starts with a dal.
his name, Duhya.
Okay.
He used to come in his form, and in his picture.
He was so handsome that Jibril used to come in his form. Imagine that. Like, what an honor, akhi. What karama, akhi. Seriously. Look him up, Duhya. You know, and then look up Jibril. You'll find it, inshallah.
You have a load of questions.
Huh?
You have a load of questions.
We haven't even got started on the lesson yet. You gotta go.
Huh?
We're going, man. We want you to stay, man.
Allah, I would love. السفر طويل ولا
No, I mean, if you gotta travel, you gotta
Bro,
travel.
There's been days where I slept at like 2:30, and I woke up 2 hours later, and I still came here to pray Fajr.
No, that's
I'm being serious.
فإن لجسمك عليك حق نفسك عليك.
Jazakumullah khairan.
You compromise, you know, your sleep schedule for a day.
No, no. I have school tomorrow as well.
Cool.
Nice, inshallah, but you come back and visit, inshallah.
نكون على زيارة بإذن الله. جزاكم الله خير.
Well, yeah. What city you say you're in?
Portugal.
We gotta visit you too, inshallah. How's the message there? Inshallah, we'll come. You said 1 hour away, inshallah. Hayakumullah. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It's not an hour away. It's like an hour and 45 minutes.
It's closer than San Francisco, the Bay Area. All right, what's the questions?
Okay. One. Wow. This is crazy. First one. Must I obey my parents if they obey me not to spread clips of the ulama on social media? It is my main way of giving da'wah to family members who are in different countries.
No, you don't have to, again, the obedience is in ma'ruf. It's in ma'ruf. If you're spreading knowledge of this deen, then, you know, no, you don't obey them and trying to stop you to do that. But again, how do you handle that lack of, that doesn't mean that you get aggressive with them and act, you know, you still continue to spread it, but you advise them in a nice and soft manner and say, no, you know, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to teach the people the deen. I'm trying to spread the knowledge of the deen. And let them say whatever they want to say, and you just remain patient. You know, even if they start to get angry with you and start calling you names, you stay level-headed and stay calm and be the mature one, inshallah.
Another one. Just had a question, if that was okay.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
Given that nowadays there are 30 to 40 different types of steroids and hundreds of performance-enhancing compounds available, has Abu Saif came across any comprehensive fatwa on steroids or the like, or other performance enhancers such as peptides, growth hormones, etc.?
All of that stuff, I think from the kuffar, stay away from it. Number one, synthetic testosterone. A lot of that stuff, and if you keep using that stuff, then the body doesn't produce natural testosterone anymore, and it destroys you when you stop using it. After you use it for so long, the body won't produce natural testosterone anymore, so you gotta keep using that stuff. And the other stuff, like the growth hormones and all that stuff, you don't even know where that stuff comes from. And what do you need that for? For what? What's the purpose of this? You know, and when, you know, again, when we talked about, you know, al-mu'min al-qawi khayrun wa habbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if, that's talking about what? Al-quwwat al-imaniyah. Work on that. That doesn't require you to take any type of performance and, you know, enhancing drugs or whatever. What are these things are called? What are they? PEDs or whatever. You know, this is, what do you need it for? Well, I mean, what do you have to become a bodybuilder for? To show off for who? You understand? Because the Muslims have never won battles and won wars and taken over countries because of the strength of their bodies. They took them over because of the strength of their hearts, their iman. And it's that the iman is going to push you to do those things. That nasr comes from Allah. It doesn't come because you can bench press 400 pounds. Just because you take a bunch of growth hormones. That stuff, I mean, we don't need that stuff. And, you know, if you want to work on the strength of something, work on the strength of your heart. Work on the purification of your heart first. And don't be concerned about this, because what are you going to do? Sit there and take this garbage so you can get muscular and sit in front of the mirror all day long like a girl? I mean, come on. I mean, seriously. Who are you trying to show off for? I mean, we don't need this. If you want something that's going to get you honor with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, work on the strength of your heart. You know, start doing the righteous actions that you need to be doing as a Muslim. Sit down and try to memorize the Quran. Sit down and memorize Hadith. Sit down and study your religion. That takes discipline. That takes hard work. That takes self-restraint. You know, that takes a lot of the things that a person needs to be successful in this life. All the other stuff, I think, what are you going to do? Sit there and destroy your body just what? So you look good for like about 5, 10 years? And then what? And then your body starts to, just starts to crumble. For what? And what did you get out of it? Nothing. So some people praised you on social media. So what? But what now? What do you have with Allah? You've been given and dedicating. Now you've given up your health. You know, you've given up. You sacrifice your own health just for what? For muscles? Come on. Do some pull-ups. Do some push-ups and pull-ups. You know, that's it. You know. I'm like, honestly, if I had to be like, who would worry me more? You know, like a Navy SEAL or a bodybuilder. I mean, come on. I mean, and then all they do is push-ups and pull-ups, and these guys, they take all the steroids. Who would concern you more coming into your house at 2 o'clock in the morning? Bodybuilder is just a bigger target for you to hit, you know?
Not bulletproof.
Huh?
Not bulletproof.
They're not bulletproof at all. Well, not for me, because I don't have bullets, but I got arrows. They're not arrow-proof, but because I'm so bad shooting a bow and arrow, but the bodybuilder gives me a bigger target to hit, right? I'm going to hit his leg at least.
This question deals with that question. Not for bodybuilding purposes or vanity purposes at all, but for anti-aging, injury, recovery, weight loss, etc., etc.
Akhi, eat some mangoes. Eat some grapes, eat some raisins, eat some dates in the morning. Stop eating garbage. Eat healthy, dude. Stop eating Ben and Jerry's, you know. Get some carrot juice, get a juicer. You know, look at the juice guy that used to be on TV back in the 90s. That guy had more energy than half the electricity of Fresno, Akhi. You know, but I mean, just eat healthy, eat natural, you know. You don't need all that garbage for what?
They called you by your kunya. They called you by your kunya.
Oh, okay.
This one. Aba Saif. Is it halal to self-induce lucid dreams? And would it be allowed to do certain impermissible actions in these dreams on purpose?
I'm assuming lucid, it does not mean what the person thinks. Lucid, it just means like a clear dream.
So lucid
well, I think what they mean is trying to get like talking about like doing something to cause something what?
So lucid dreams is basically, it's like when, let's say when you're about to wake up from your real sleep, but you're in this process where like, okay, I'm aware of what's going on, and in my head I can imagine what I want to imagine. So
like daydreaming.
Like you, basically when you get up from your nap, and I've experienced lucid dreaming, like where I could just picture whatever I want to picture. Like I could picture a mountain, I picture a mountain, I want to picture a lake.
Yeah, but what is he trying to picture, and why is he asking if it's permissible? It's haram, class. You're sitting there like trying to like imagine it, you know, so you can dream about being with some beautiful girl. That's haram, class. If she's not your wife,
The question is, if she's your wife, why are you lucid dreaming? Just do the real thing.
Yeah, wake up, honey. It's like, yeah, class.
And this is the last one.
No.
Okay, well, that's what you sent me.
I guess we're doing the same thing. This is what I get. This is our first class on Saturday. You know this, right?
Oh yeah, it is Saturday.
This is the first class on Saturday.
You know,
and now we're just getting bombarded with questions, you know.
My schedule changed. Instead of working.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're supposed to be cooking hamburgers tonight.
But it's 6 hours now.
Oh, okay. We gotta go get some free cheeseburgers, man. Halal cheeseburgers. Yeah. What's the question? Yeah, before you travel. Hey, did you bring tahawiyah? No, you joking, man.
I could still bring it tomorrow.
I told you to put it in your car before you forget.
No, but you called me when I was at work.
Oh, you were. Okay.
I was at work.
Okay. Why didn't you bring no cheeseburgers then?
No, because I left before Asr prayer. I was.
It's a lose-lose situation for you because either one, you forgot the book, or two, you didn't bring no cheeseburgers. See, now the kids are going to be unhappy.
To make you feel better, I didn't eat nothing.
No, it doesn't. But go ahead and read the question.
I did eat. We're not going to get into that. But is it true that if one belittles someone, like make fun of them for something that they did or happened to them, will Allah make that which they belittled them for happen to them?
I mean, it's not, as far as the authenticity of that. I was going to say when you were reading the question, I was like, you mean what you guys did to Hamza?
Oh.
Yeah. But, I did, like I said, I mean, jaza'un jinsul amal, akhi. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you what you know, whatever you did to a person, whatever your intentions were, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. So if you did something to a person with the, you know, with the intention of belittling that person, then don't be surprised when it happens to you. And don't be surprised when you start getting belittled and humiliated and those things happen to you. Now, is it lazim? Like, is it absolutely going to happen to the person if he does it? I can tell you this much. I have never, ever, ever spoken about a person without having ikhlas when I spoke about the person, except for the thing that I was talking about that person, it happened to me. Period. So now, when it comes to like talking about people, now that makes me what? Very, very concerned and careful, because every single time that I've looked at this and, oh man, look at this brother, man, look at what he keeps doing. He keeps doing this, he keeps falling into this, he keeps falling into that, and then next thing you know, guess who was falling into those things? Me. So I would be very, very concerned about doing that. And I've seen that. I don't have the hadith to back that up as far as that, but I got my life experience and I've seen it over and over to the point where I was like, khalas, man, you do whatever, you know, just give the person advice, but don't ever belittle the person or look down on the person, because Allah flip your heart in a second. And that's why you see that the dua of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said what? Yeah, muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qalbi ala dinik, you know, thabbit qalbi ala ta'atik, in different narrations, you know, so you have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep you on tabat, you know. And if you see the brother messing up and doing things, give him advice and make dua for him just like you make dua for yourself. But don't belittle people. Don't look down on people. Well, I'd be scared to even belittle a kafir if it has something to do with the dunya and not with his deen. You know, I wouldn't even want to belittle a kafir because I'd be too afraid that would happen to me. You know, whatever I belittle him for would happen to me. So you gotta be careful with those things.
Ibn Uthaymeen, he said, في الأثر أنه من عير أخاه بذنب فإن الغالب أنه سيبتلى به. Memorize what he said. There's the other question. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أحسن الله عز وجل إليكم. An Ustad. No, Ustad.
What is it? Oh, you took them off the tree?
Yeah.
Are they fresh?
Yeah, they're good.
The peaches are fresh.
I mean, they probably could be more rare, but they good though.
They ain't gonna get more rare because people gonna keep eating them off the tree.
Yeah, wait till next year.
Well, it looks good though. All right, what was the question? Sorry.
Ustad, is it permissible to go bowling?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's part of the question. Okay, so I'm gonna finish it, but Ustad, specifically for women because specifically.
You just because you live in California, so everything's specifically.
Specifically for a woman because her hips and back area may show while she's bowling, and the men are going to be behind her.
No, I mean, there's going to be, I mean, first off, I thought the question was for a man. So even for a man that wanted to go bowling, under the condition that number one, there's no music playing, and number two, that you rent out the bowling alley where it's only going to be men in there. You know? And with the women, the women, no, because the women, you can't. Well, like nowadays, especially with all the cameras and all this type of stuff, where you cannot tell me that you can absolutely promise that something, you know, that there's no camera somewhere or something's not, you know, it's a bowling alley. They got security cameras and the girls are going to be filmed on camera, things like that. Find female things to do. Bowling, I mean, it's bowling. I mean, there's got to be a replacement for something. And, you know, so, you know, whoever leaves something for the sake of Allah, Allah gives them something better than that. Even for the sake of Allah, Allah will give you better than bowling. But
so watching a movie is haram?
Yes.
Like a movie?
Yes.
That's haram?
There's music, there's mixing, there's fornication, there's a whole bunch of, well, I mean, even if it's a clean movie, there's still the boyfriend girlfriend aspect, you know. And
Oh yes, a lot of weird stuff.
so
This question says, well, I have knowledge and peptides, which ones contain haram substances in Islam, and basic knowledge of haram and benefit, which has to be done on a case-by-case basis with the physician.
I have no idea what you just read.
What you heard is what.
But I mean, I honestly, I don't know. I don't know what a peptide is. I don't know I failed biology. So.
I think peptides is testosterone pills.
Y'all got to keep in mind
And
all
I
this.
really passed.
Hey, I failed my chemistry test.
Until today, I've not graduated high school, so I don't know any of this peptides and all that.
I think peptides is testosterone pills.
Hmm?
I think peptides is testosterone pills.
It's the what?
Testosterone pills.
Testosterone pill.
Mhm.
And then we already talked about that. So what's the problem now? You want to do it, that's your business. You asked me for advice, I gave you the advice. I mean, for us, if you want to, that's your life. You have to answer to Allah for that. I mean, me personally, I'll never do that. You know, I don't see the purpose of it. We saw, I mean, there were plenty of brothers that did very, very heroic acts in the match against the Houthis that probably couldn't even do 2 pull-ups if you asked them to do it. Probably couldn't do 20 pull-ups, but when it came time to fight those Houthis, they fought valiantly and bravely, and they gave their lives for that. While those dudes that were probably taking the steroids were running away from the battle side. Nah, man. Again, actually, I don't know what the benefit of it is.
Peptides are amino acid fragments. Yalla.
Get your amino acids from food.
Oranges,
Chicken, meat, eggs, there you go.
apples.
And then all the grains.
This thing, I think right here, mentioned, but before we move on, can you tell the people, or maybe most likely to hear me, just tell them everyone who was involved in name calling me, tell them I've forgiven them.
I thought you already forgave me.
No, because on the thing, because I didn't say it publicly, just one person was asked.
Hamza forgave everybody. Even Ismail.
Who's Ismail?
I don't know.
Oh, Ismail, yes, I've forgiven him. When he said Ismail, I was thinking,
Everybody complains about Ismail, so I don't know. So I don't.
when he said Ismail, I was thinking of my newborn nephew. I was like, what is Ismail?
Oh, forgive him too, cuz, for being newborn. Any other questions?
Yes, sometimes my friends make fun of me, and I don't like it, but I don't say because they're my friends. Do I have to tell them to stop to be recompensed on the day of judgment?
You want me to tell you? Now keep in mind, you're asking me this question.
Hey, in the black community, that's so.
No, but I'm saying, if that go find new friends. I mean, if your friends are making fun of you, then are they really your friends? What?
Actually, I was involved in the Hamza thing, and then this happened.
What?
So he was the one, part of the people who was making fun of me, and the same thing happened to him. I wasn't majorly involved with just one minor comment, but I was involved. And then the same thing happened to him, subhanAllah.
That's the way the world works. Man. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala test the people. But, you got something to say?
واحد قال حلو وحرام انه يقدر يقول انه البولينج هو حرام للرجال والنساء.
It's not the aspect of the bowling is not haram. It's the environment that you're going to be doing the bowling in. The bowling places have music. They have mixing between men and women. They have women that just don't like to wear a lot of clothes. I mean, this is just the environment. And if there's no darura, now you can say, okay, tayyib, but that's the environment in the supermarket. And you're right, but you have to get food sooner or later, right? You know, you limit even the amount that you go to the supermarket. And when do we go to the supermarket? When? Adatan.
7 a.m.
6 a.m. because now they open it at 6. So now, if we need to go to the supermarket, we sit here in the masjid after Fajr until 6 a.m. and we go to the supermarket and we get what we need to get. And alhamdulillah, when we go to the supermarket at 6 a.m., do you see a bunch of naked girls up in the supermarket? No, you see a bunch of old women, right? That's it. I'm cool. Hey, old women. Hey, I'll shop with some old women, no problem. But you stay away from the fitness, the environment. The environment is what makes it haram. So you avoid those environments, and there's no need, there's no necessity. You can find another activity to do that doesn't require you being in that type of environment. Like us, actually, I love, like my whole life, I love baseball. And I grew up, going to baseball games and all this type of stuff. We don't go. Why? Because why don't we go? Huh? Every time I ask you, you want to go to a baseball game, what do you say? No, because there's going to be people drinking alcohol, there's going to be music, there's going to be women screaming and yelling, there's going to be all this environment. You got to understand, you're leaving that stuff for Allah. I mean, that's it. Allah is going to give you something better and more love for this deen and more litzah and more, just the sweetness of this deen is more important than all that temporary fun that you're going to have in those types of environments. So, I mean, you find something else to do. Find something that's halal, something in an environment that you can control. And this is why we need to, at least if we're going to be doing these types of things, is set these things up where we have control. We can set up Muslim coffee shops where the women sit over there and the men sit over there. And we can have Muslim restaurants the same way. And we can have, Muslim activity places where it's girls over there and the boys over there. And there's no mixing and there's no music and we can do this. But the point is nobody's trying to do it. They're perfectly happy, enjoying themselves amongst the kuffar and living the American dream. This is the Muslims. They're perfectly happy doing it. So, I mean, if you're one of those people that doesn't, then for us, you gotta find activities that fit, what we, Islam. Because Islam is the criteria. The American dream is not the criteria. The American dream is gonna get so many people tossed into hellfire, it's not even funny. Keep living that American dream, and we're gonna see how much of a nightmare it's gonna be for you when we wake up on the day of judgment.
I accidentally skipped this question. I said, is it true that pointing the index finger of the right hand towards the sky is Islamic?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know of any narration. I see a bunch of people doing this all the time. I don't know what.
One time I was in a khutbah, and then it was at Masjid Fresno. It was, I think, Sheikh Ramadan was still there, but some guy, he came, he was all like, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, and then after that, he translated, he said, and I bear witness that there is none worthy of worship except Allah.
The first time that I ever saw this was a Jew in Los Angeles did that to me. Because I was dressed the way I was dressed in the Malay, in the same like this, like the Pakistani type thing with a kufiya, and he walked up to me. He knew I was Muslim, but he did like this. He said, "We all believe in one God," and he started pointing his finger. I was like, "Why are you doing that?" He said, "That's what we do." So I ever since then I've always despised that.
Jews did that.
The Jews, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a Jewish guy in a store in Los Angeles. This is way back in 2000. And ever since then I've hated anytime that I saw a person do that. You see. If somebody starts sticking his finger up in the air and doing it, watch my face. Watch it. You know that look on my face, right? When somebody does something stupid that I don't like, and I'm just like, it's like, put your finger down, You got a question? Oh my God.
Abe has a question. Let's record. No, not record, but like
Voice recording.
Voice recording.
الشيخ الحديث اللي كان يتكلم عن أن تشرب وأنت واقف أو تاكل وأنت واقف. إيش كان الحديث؟
It's a whole string of a hadith.
لو هو كان محرم أم مكروه.
مكروه.
بعض كثير من العلماء يقول مكروه. وبعض الناس من أهل الحديث يقول هو حرام إلا بالضرورة. So they use two hadiths to show that it's permissible. And one is the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ was in the haram, he was in Hajj, and he stood up and he drank. And another one that he went and he was drinking from a qarab, because the qarab is a water skin, and they tie it to the ceiling, so he couldn't sit down. He had to drink standing. So in those two scenarios, because of the zahma, what do you say, the crowds. In Hajj that he drank while he was standing. And with the qarab that he did it because he was drinking from, but other than that, he forbade the people. Nahi, and yashrab qa'im. So that's a nahi. So if there's no how can you say this? There's no necessity of standing while drinking, and it's you know, at the very least, it's looked down upon. It's makruh at the very least. And you know, and I lean more towards the haram, without a hajj, without a necessity. I lean more towards that opinion.
السؤال يعني هو في الحديث الثاني الذي هو حق البخاري وما أدري من يقول يعني حق إنك تمشي خلف أبيك
I mean, it's right here. Right.
ما تجلس حتى هو يجلس أول يعني مثلا أنت تتكلم شخص يعني كما عبد الملك وأنتم واقفون يعني من احترم أن المال يجلس بس نفس الوقت أنا أريد أن يشرب ماء أو يأكل يعني إيش رأيك؟
I mean, you can squat down and drink. Yeah.
Oh, this also.
Was it?
Isn't there, I know, in Bukhari, there's a narration from Ali ibn Abi Talib. Mentioned like, he said that he's seen the Prophet ﷺ drink standing up.
Yeah, that was in Hajj.
Oh, so he could, like, he standing up?
If I'm not mistaken, it was either during Hajj or during Umrah, but I'm trying to find the hadith right now.
Because, like Ali, he was standing, radiallahu anhu, he was standing up. So like, وَإِنِّي رَأَيْتُ النَّبِيَّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم.
If you had the daily hadith book, I put the hadith in the daily hadith book, if I'm not mistaken.
So what about eating?
Huh?
What about eating?
Well, if standing up while drinking, who spoke about this? I can't remember which sheikh spoke about this. They said إذا كان شرب الماء قائما مكروه فإذا الأكل قائما أخبث منه. You know, so it's like, you know, just drinking while standing is disliked. And then he said eating while standing is much more despicable of an act.
Oh, okay, I thought you said it was acceptable.
You know,
What do we need a hadith to say eating is haram?
eating
I mean,
is
no,
haram.
no, eating standing up is haram.
That secondhand crack smoke again, huh?
No, it's the oil grease, the air from the fryer. There's also another one from Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu, he said, سقيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من زمزم فشرب وهو قائم. And this hadith is in Muslim.
That's what I'm saying. That was during the Hajj or during the Umrah. So there's those two scenarios, you know. And like I said, go to the Nahi. نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من شرب الماء قائما. Because the fahrish of this book is, you find it.
اليوم تحول Q&A.
What's that?
اليوم تحول Q&A.
Yeah, because it's Saturday night. In fact, I think we need to make like Saturday or Sunday night show. Because I see you already, I can already feel you looking at me. You know, but more people are awake right now, so.
خلينا نخلي Q&A هون.
I mean, that's probably what's about to happen.
قصدي بس نخليه
Just so that you know, Adhan is at 9:40. It's 9:31 right now.
What's the final hadith? Alright, you guys are too slow, man.
No, because when I was searching this, and because I was looking
The
into
thing
this.
is, you got to know the wording of the hadith in your head, so when you look it up, you can find it quickly. You don't have to go to like Sheikh Mubaz's website to find it, you know, and find the correct wording, and then.
No, because there was a while back I was searching this. I remember I went on Bin Baz's website and Ibn Uthaymeen's website, and they both said like it's jaiz.
We'll see. Wait.
But they both agree that doing it sitting down is better.
Alright, let's see what we got.
What was Mufrad upon, you know?
Yeah, so haram. So this hadith is in Sahih Muslim. It's reported on Anas ibn Malik and النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنه نهى أن يشرب الرجل قائما. قال قتادة فقلنا فالأكل فقال ذاك الشر. Oh, that's أخبث. Okay, it was قتادة that said that. I knew I had it in my memory like somebody said that before, but no, it was Qatada as a part of the hadith هذا أخبث when he asked about standing up and eating. So he said He said, أنه نهى أن يشرب الرجل قائما. So here the messenger forbade that a person drink standing. قال قتادة فقلنا, and then Qatada said, and so we said, well, what about eating? And the person who answered this is Anas ibn Malik. He said, فقال ذاك أشر أو أخبث. So that is more despicable. So they saw it as being, and he said, هذا أخبث. So what does that mean? And the opinion of Anas ibn Malik, if he said هذا أخبث, أخبث, you know, that means that it's more despicable, than that means that he sees the act of standing up drinking as what? Khabith. But eating, standing up, is akhbath. So how will they answer that? What's the jam' between this and that? So you're taking two instances. One instance, you have the qarab. The only instance that they have is when he was given zamzam and he drank. That's it. That's the only instance where they can say, what was the illah of why he was standing? Where they don't have an answer for it. Right? That's it. The qarab, it was attached to the ceiling. So he took it and he drank standing because he had no choice. There was no other way to drink it. So that we can say, no, he only did that because of darura. Now the only thing that we can say here is that, okay, he drank the zamzam standing. And then other people could say, well, yeah, well, maybe it's because of the zahma. Maybe, well, we don't know. You understand? We don't know the whole purpose. So that's why I say that at the very least it's makruh. Because you still have the nahi. And the nahi is an authentic hadith in Sahih Muslim and Anas ibn Malik. So khalas, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to ignore that and just say it's permissible? No, because you have a nahi. You have a prohibition. And then you have the act that he did it in this one occasion. You know, we don't know why. What was the purpose of why he did it? So now when we have to look at the prohibition and we have to look at the fact that he actually did it, so when he does an action, what does it show?
What do you say here?
If he does an action, for example, let's say that the Prophet ﷺ says, you know, أَنَا أَنْهَاكُمْ أَنْ تَشْرَبْ قَائِمًا. Okay, he says this to the people. But then 3-4 days later, he drinks and he's drinking standing up. So what is he doing here? It shows the permissibility of doing it, but it's not light, that you shouldn't do it. That you shouldn't do it like regularly. You know, if there's a reason or a purpose. I mean, we're all in a hurry and we all forget, you know. I do this all the time, you know, especially if I'm running around, exercising or whatever. I just grab the bottle and drink. You know, it happens, okay? But I mean, but when we're dealing with the hukum, we have to be serious with ourselves, you know. We just can't, you know, you can't ignore the fact
So
that, you
you
know.
like in the middle of a workout, you're like, you're for example, you're jogging.
Squat.
Oh, alright.
You know, it's good. It stretches out the hips, man. You know, especially if you do that squat, the flat foot squat, you know, like they do overseas. And you sit down and you drink, but you're in that squatting position like that, it's good. It opens up the hips and stretches out the hips. And, yeah, it's good, man. Any more questions?
A lot. There's actually a
You
lot.
might as well just go. I might as well just close these books then, huh? Go ahead.
I asked one of the shuyukh here who specializes in the Hanafi madhab about the Hanafi position on not raising the hands in Salah, and he said the reason behind it was that it was bringing together of two hadith. One stated that the Prophet ﷺ didn't raise his hands.
Yeah, I challenge you to bring that hadith.
And
Bring an authentic hadith that said that the Prophet did not raise his hand.
he raised his hands.
No, but bring an authentic hadith that says he didn't raise his hands. Well, go ask him, Mr. Hanafi Madhab, ask him to bring a hadith that's authentic that says that the Prophet did not raise his hands. And he's talking about Tajma' Bain al-Hadithain. First off, see if the hadith is authentic or not. I don't even know. And then it doesn't matter. You're gonna, okay. You have a hadith that are mutawatir, right? So this is okay. So you got the people that had this whole issue about the hadith al-ahad, right? Which means what?
You could take a ruling from it.
No, but what is a hadith al-ahad? You know, so the people understand what it is.
It's like one chain of narration for a hadith.
It goes to one person.
One person.
Okay, so they say, well, you know, هذا لا يفيد إلى إيش؟ لا يفيد إلى ظن. It only benefits. It doesn't يفيد اليقين. See, this is what they say. I'm not. Don't scrunch your face up at me. I'm telling you the argument. They say لا يفيد الظن and يفيد الظن لا يفيد اليقين. Because when you have something that's mutawatir and everybody says it, then يفيد اليقين. You like مرتاح به, right? You say, okay, this gotta have happened because 15 people narrated it. All right, tell you. But you know, this is with the ahad, right? They don't accept it. They reject it. Go to the Hanafis. They reject the hadith al-ahad. And they said it has to be mutawatir for us to accept it. Until it comes into a masala that goes against their madhab. Then all of a sudden now, you have these ahadith that are mutawatir about raising the hands, right? They're going to reject that and say we're going to do a jama' bain al-hadithain and we're not going to raise our hands. Are you serious? Is that the type of batil that you're calling the people to? So you're going to leave off all the hadith in Bukhari and Muslim and all the books of hadith, that every single muhaddith, he put a chapter that says what? And Kitab al-Salat, but put a chapter in Kitab al-Salat about the bab of Raf' al-Yadain. Raf' al-Yadain. Every single book, Sunan Abi Dawud, everybody. So now you're going to leave off all of these ahadith and mutawatirah, because you say that there's a hadith, not you obviously, but this Hanafi shaykh, that he says that there's another hadith where the Prophet didn't raise his hands and we're doing a jama' bain al-hadith, and ya akhi, come on. Wallah yastahi ala nafsik wallah. Wallah ya man, anta tahur manam, wallah tahur nafsik manam. Seriously. You know, is he going to leave off the hadith mutawatir, but at the same time, if you come with a hadith that's ahad to them and say that this hadith is authentic, they say, no, this hadith is not mutawatir, and they'll reject it. But now you're rejecting the mutawatir. Why? Because it doesn't agree with your madhab. This is the point of the madhab that I told you I don't like. This is the point when it becomes to this point where you reject the authentic sunnah and talk about we're doing the jama' bain al-hadha wa bain al-hadha. No, you're not. Because if you were doing a jama', then what would you be doing? Let's say that we have all of these ahadith in Bukhari and Muslim and Sunan Abi Dawud and Sunan al-Nasa'i, Tirmidhi, Ibn Majah, the Musnad of Imam Ahmad, you know, everybody, Dar al-Qutni narrated, Ibn Abi Shayba narrated these ahadith, Tabarani narrated these ahadith. Now, we have these. Are you going to sit there and say that you're going to take this one narration? I don't even know what the narration is, but I'm just saying, you got one narration which is the Prophet did raise his head, and you're going to leave all of this? Come on, you're talking about doing tajma' bain al-hadithain? Bain al-hadithain will be what? We're going to raise our hands the majority of the time, but sometimes what? We won't. Just like we talked about with the hadith, about what? Reciting Surah Al-A'la and Surah Al-Ghashiyah in Jum'ah. You do it most of the times, but every once in a while what? You don't do it. Because there's other, the Prophet ﷺ used to read other surahs in Jum'ah. So that's a jama' bain al-hadithain. That's a jama' bain al-masala, But you're not leaving off. But what we do is we do the sunnah the vast majority of the time. Well, me, I do it like every Friday. Every Friday. I don't think, since I've been in Fresno, Surah Al-A'la and Surah Al-Ghashiyah. Yeah, that's it. Because if I don't do it, nobody else in Fresno is going to do it. So. Except for you go over Surah Al-A'raf and Jama'ah. But yeah. Next question. Before I get all heated about this madhab stuff.
No, I read because I was unprepared. Which I said, here, you take it. I was like, okay. Regarding the belittling question, does it also apply to belittling a kafir's religion?
Why would you belittle his religion? What's the benefit of that? And was he trying to give him dawah or something? Or like, what benefit does that have, like going and belittling? If somebody came and belittled Islam and then tried to teach you about Christianity, you'd probably try to fight him, right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so do we think that we're going to go and argue with them and belittle what they're doing, and this is a form of dawah? I mean, teach the people about Tawheed, teach the people about the Sunnah. And, people want to fight against our religion and fight against us and belittle us and things like that. That's a different story. We got to, we have every right for self-defense and defend ourselves, whether it's physically or verbally or whatever. But to just go and just make it a thing where we're belittling them, why? Well, what's the benefit? Their religion is batil. What they're upon is batil. We know that, and I think deep in their hearts they probably know it too. Yeah, so the point, and that's why whenever you argue with them, that's why they say, you just gotta believe it, man. You know, well, believe what though? Yeah, the Holy Spirit, the Trinity, you know, you just gotta believe it, man. Believe it. I don't. How can I believe something I don't understand? But you just gotta have belief. And it doesn't make sense. And this is the experience that I've had with them. So they already know that they're on batil. Call them to Tawheed and call them to the correct deen. And if they reject that, then that's on them on the day of judgment. خلاص.
واحد كافر كان يقول لازم تكون كافر حتى تفهمه. واحد كافر قال أنت ما تفهم عن أي شيء إلا أنت تكون كافر.
ايش؟
واحد كان يقول أنت ما تقدر تفهم أي شيء من هذا الأشياء حتى أنت تكون كافر معاهم بعد ما تفهم كل هذا.
We used to be.
أنا قصدي يقول لازم تكون كافر حتى تفهم.
You live amongst them, you understand. You see the batil that they're on. Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah wrote a whole book about it.
5 volumes.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that he understood their own religion better than they understand it. And alhamdulillah, he's a Muslim. So, you know, but I mean, as far as like the belittling thing, you belittle them, you belittle their religion, and it opens up the door for them to start doing what? Insulting Islam, insulting the Prophet, and so we don't open those doors. They open those doors first.
What is it? Now's a good time to mention the ayah in Surah Al-An'am. ولا تسبوا الذين يدعون من دون الله ويسبوا الله عدوا بغير علم.
Yeah, that's basically what I was getting to. Yeah. You don't open those doors.
Oh, this one says, Ustad, do you know a good playlist of tafsir on YouTube to go through in English?
In English, tafsir. But I mean, you need to find a playlist to learn Arabic, inshallah. And then focus on learning the Arabic language, and then do the tafsir in Arabic.
One says here.
As far as like in Arabic, I don't know. The only person I know who's taught tafsir ibn Kathir completely.
I wish.
Nah, Sheikh Yahya has taught like the majority of the audios of tafsir ibn Kathir. You can find it online, but it's in Arabic though. I don't know anything in English.
One says, one of the shuyukh here explained that the hadith prohibiting music, I think he meant to say in Bukhari, is sahih. However, it has some weakness in its chain compared to other sahih hadiths. Can you explain the takhrij of this hadith and the reason for the deficiency?
I don't know what hadith you're talking about. And the second thing, the only deficiency is probably in the deficiency of the answer of the person that gave you the answer to that question. His deficiency in his understanding of Bukhari and what Bukhari does in the Sahih. And Dar al-Qutni is the only person that I know, there's other people that have done like intiqad, like criticism of Bukhari. And Dar al-Qutni, he wrote an actual risala, and he wrote two risalas, right? One was called Ilzamat, and one was called what? Tatabbur, right? I believe that was it, right? Ilzamat wa Tatabbur. So the Ilzamat were like a hadith that had the conditions of Bukhari and Muslim, but they didn't put it in their Sahih, that they should have put in their Sahih. And the Tatabbur is like going over and looking at the hadith that they shouldn't have put in their Sahih in the first place because they didn't fit the conditions of Sihah. Shaykh Mufrad rahimahullah did a refutation of this Risala. I have the tahqiq of it in Jacksonville. It's a beautiful Risala. Allah yarham al-Shaykh. Allah yarham al-Shaykh. And he refuted Dar al-Qutni in his claims of like the ahadith, and he showed that even he was wrong in the issues where he said that this hadith was da'if and this one shouldn't be in the Sahih, and he showed where Dar al-Qutni made a mistake and why it was wrong. So if that was Shaykh Muqbil dealing with Dar al-Qutni, then I couldn't imagine what would happen to this so-called Shaykh that wants to make his intiqadat of Sahih Bukhari, and just because he probably wants to listen to music, so he wants to say that the hadith is not permissible. Now, the hadith that I know that forbids music is not in Bukhari, it's in Sunan Abi Dawood. I don't know if the hadith, so I don't know what hadith he's talking about in Bukhari.
Hadith in Sahih, it's a Sahih hadith. It's Sahih in Abu Dawood.
Yeah, it's Sahih with Bila Shak.
So, is listening to music a sin?
Majors.
It's a major sin? Like, a major sin.
It's one of the signs of the day of judgment. The people, they start making these things halal.
Plus the 4 madhabs agreed upon it. Let alone, okay, let's just leave out the
I
four
love
the Sahaba agreed upon it. There's ijma' بين
That's
الصحابة.
all that matters. The four madhahib.
Well, like-
If you have, like, for example, if you have a consensus of the Sahaba, that all of the Sahaba, they agree. Maybe you might get one, but I don't know. I'm just saying maybe. But there's this 99% consensus of the Sahaba that they say that this is haram. Ya akhi, what do I care what the four madhahib say now? I mean, serious. If one of the madhahib says, well, no, I don't think so. Akhi, I have the consensus of the Sahaba. That's what I follow. That's what I follow before I follow the madhab of this person, the madhab of that person. You understand? And this is what the people, they don't understand. Because again, it goes back to their lack of ability of going back and checking this type of information and then relying on people, you know, like just like us here in America, you know. And you just got to hope that the source that you're getting the information from is you know, well-read in this type of thing. But the Sahaba said that it's all of them are haram. And then one of the four madhab says, no, I don't agree with that. What? Yeah, I'm saying, you got the you know, the consensus of the Sahaba. This is the ijma' of the Sahaba. That's a hujjah. Alright, the four madhab agreeing on one issue does not make it a hujjah. Does not become a hujjah because they agreed on it. The hujjah is the Quran and the Sunnah and the ijma'. The ijma' is the who? Sahaba. Not the ijma' of, you know, Imam Malik, Imam Ahmed, Imam Shafi'i, and Imam Abi Hanif. No. The ijma' of the Sahaba. That's a hujjah. And even they question about what the hujjah of the ijma' of the tabi'een. But if the tabi'een, obviously, because they're going to have ijma' on something that what? Sahaba had ijma', or at least that 85-90% consensus on. Like, for example, we have the issue of what we talked about, al-mut'ah. We have the Ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu. He didn't agree with it. All the other Sahaba agreed with it. That's haram. So now, if, you know, from the tabi'een, again, you might find people that, what? Follow Ibn Abbas. Alright? And he's based on his ijtihad and his understanding. And he's an imam. You know, amongst the Sahaba, he's from the muhaddithin, from the mufassirin. إذا أخطأ فله أجر, you know, وإذا أصاب فله أجران, you know. But you following him in a mistake that he made in ijtihad, you don't get that. That's his ijtihad. But you have to follow. You go back and you see, like, for example, Imam Malik, if he says like this is permissible, and you see the ijma'. I'm just giving an example, right? And this would never happen because Imam Malik. I should use another example. Because Imam Malik has some of the most strongest conditions, like even to the point where he said that the person who's doing safar, like he's traveling, and he said the permissibility of doing the tajma', you know, bayna salawat, with taqassur, and the taqsir with jama'. He said it's only if your safar is halal. Halal. Like if you're doing a safar, you're doing traveling for something haram, then it's not permissible. That rukhsah is not for you because
Halal.
Yeah, halal. What did I say?
You said halal.
Halal.
What's halal? I was thinking of.
Maybe I'm thinking of carrot cake, halal. So I was saying that this morning, right? Who was with me this morning, Fudger? You, right? Yeah. So, man, I just want some carrot cake, man. So maybe I'm like thinking halal.
These are a lot of questions. It's 9:51. Like there's.
Alright, just take some important questions. We might
There's
have
a whole load of questions on both phones. There's a whole.
I don't know, skim through it and get an important question, because yeah, we gotta go, man.
Okay.
We got children.
Okay, this one is important. Which one?
Where's Esad at?
Mujahid, which one?
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay.
Huh?
This one says, if I remember lyrics from songs I used to listen to, can I sing the lyrics to myself? The music was haram, but the lyrics weren't haram.
The lyrics weren't haram.
How you doubt it?
Have you known any kafir that sang a song about what? What he's doing? Songs about dhikrullah.
So,
No, they're talking about girls, they're talking about drugs, they're talking about, some of them are, you know, witchcraft and all this type of
هو
foolishness.
يقول إن الأغنية كان يسمع فيها هذا كان مش حرام والذي هو يسمعه.
Oh, Aghni is haram, what are you talking about?
أنا قصدي الليركس حق الأغنية اللي سمع فيه الليركس مش ما كان حرام قصده.
Man, if you want to, like, memorize some poetry, start reciting poetry.
you heard of the person who said that,
Replace the lyrics with something more beneficial. Was it?
you know, the person who rules around saying, according to that narration of Ibn Abbas, it's weak. So, impermissibility of the tafsir, Ibn Abbas gave him music.
Nah, man, that was that one crackhead that said that narration was weak. Wallahi, and even Ibn Abbas is only one of the Sahaba that gave the narration. Four Sahaba that were narrated from Ibn Jarir. And Ibn Jarir did not even just bring one narration from Ibn Abbas. He brought 3 or 4 different narrations from Ibn Abbas with 4 different chains of narration. So that's a crackhead that goes around saying that Ibn Abbas' statement is da'if. So he, mashallah, he's taken upon himself to start a precedent, you know, where he's like now more knowledgeable than all the ulama from now and all the way to the time of Ibn Jarir, you know, where they've accepted the statement from Ibn Abbas about the tafsir of the ayat in Luqman, Surah Al-Luqman. So
He said he's a historian.
he's an historian, yes. And he is. He's an historian, he's a muhaddith, he's a mufassir, and you're an idiot. So yes. So yeah.
Someone said, what about Albanian military songs? Those lyrics are halal question.
Ya akhi, اقرأ Quran. What was it, Imam al-Sha'bi? Nobody's got the Seeking Knowledge book? I think I brought it, the statement in the end of the book on Seeking Knowledge. Go back and check it. He said, أقل ما تجده في هذه الأوراق هذه الدفاتر. What? He said, الشعر. He got Quran and he writes hadith. And he said the least of what you find in there that's not hadith is what? Poetry from the Arabs from before. He said that's it. He said other than that you're not going to find anything else. You're not going to find this person said this and this person said this. You're going to find hadith and you're going to find shi'r. The Quran, khalas, he's got that memorized from the time he was a kid. You know, so he said the only thing that you're going to find, the least of what you're going to find is the poetry. Replace that jahiliyyah with beneficial stuff. That's what I mean. The same thing when I was in Damaj, I spoke about this before because
This is me and
when I went to Damaj, I'd only been off the streets for like a year. So a lot of that stuff was still in my head. So there'd be times because I had a pull-up bar in my room. And went all the way, so I'd sit there and do pull-ups, after Asr every day, or either that or in the morning. And you headed out.
My friend, my brother.
So and those lyrics used to pop up in my head because I used to listen to that garbage a lot when I used to work out before, when I was out on the streets. And and then I had to sit there and force myself to just start memorizing things to do what? To replace it with something more beneficial. So that's when I started getting into poetry, and I started like, okay, what were the types of songs that used to pop up in my head? All that stupid gangster garbage about these dudes that sit there and rap about things that they never do, just like the shu'ara, right? So then, then I started like, okay, let me replace it with like poetry of people that were like known for doing this type of stuff, known for going into battle, known for like, and then that's when I started just memorizing poetry. Replace that stuff with something more beneficial. And poetry is way more beneficial than these languages, than these lyrics of these songs. You got the Arabic language, the most purest of the Arabic language.
No, you were saying?
What is it?
No, I'm just saying Mujahid's in the chat.
Oh, Mujahid.
Mujahid.
Assalamu alaikum, Mujahid. 2.0.
2.0. Can we just take these last two?
Yeah, just take the last two important questions.
He already answered. Oh, sorry. So he already answered the question. He's just going. He's trying to find a way how.
No. Give somebody else a chance.
Okay. This is a valid question right here. Someone says, Ahsanallahu alaykum. Ustad, is there an ijma' among the companions that it is haram for a woman to travel without a mahram besides the obligatory hajj?
She's not allowed to travel without a mahram for the hajj. What is the question?
That was the question.
The man, he said, when the Prophet ﷺ, he said, لا تسافر المرأة ليلة ولا ليلة بدون المحرم. And the man said to the Prophet ﷺ, إني اقتتبت في جيش كذا وكذا. He was signed up in the military, and this was during Hajj, and he was signed up to go out to battle. And he said, I think it's like في جيش كذا وكذا. And he said, وزوجتي سافرت إلى للحج. And he said, go, and he said, امشي يعني اذهب وحج مع امرأتك. And he told him to go and make hajj with his wife. So it's not permissible for any case where the woman travels a day and a night without a mahram.
I have a
So,
question too.
I mean, there's no, even for hajj, she has to have a mahram. And that was the case because he was already put into a military to go out for jihad, you understand? And the Prophet told him, he said, go make hajj with your wife, so she has a mahram for hajj. That hadith is right there in Bulugh al-Maram. So,
There's because my question is related to this mas'ala. Let's just say there's a Muslim ruler. There's a Muslim ruler. Let's say I live in a Muslim country. Obviously there's a Muslim
this
ruler.
is what got you in trouble last time, right?
Huh? No, but mine's actually related to this. Like,
Go ahead.
if I live in a Muslim country, obviously there's a Muslim ruler, and I finally get the opportunity to go to Hajj. Finally. However, but the ruler commands me to go to war, but this is the only time I could go to Hajj. I have min istita'a sabila.
You obey the ruler.
Okay. This one says,
Because I told you, if the ruler tells the people to go out and fight, it's like, that's part of ayn.
someone says, can we read fiction books that have haram like sihr and shirk, like Stephen King and stuff? And on some of these books, there are silhouettes and outlines of living beings without facial features. Do I have to cover these?
Of course, you scratch out the images, but as far as reading the stuff, I used to read a lot of that stuff, even up until like maybe 2 years ago. And I don't advise people to read it. I was only reading it because of the writing style.
The sihr? This is sihr.
No, I mean, because a lot of their stories, they have to do with sihr. They have to do with sihr, But I'm saying I used to read those stories because I was focusing on the style of writing. So I used to read that for that purpose, but I don't advise the people to do that. And I've had a bad experience, and I think y'all know about it, about the books and the terminology of get these books of sihr out of the house. And that was a statement from a jinni.
The what?
It was a person that I was reading on. It had a jinn, and then the person had Stephen King books in the house. And the jinn kept saying, the problem is he's got all these sihr books in the house. And they were the Stephen King books. So that was the jinn kept saying that. So he said, the jinn was saying, get those sihr books out of the house. So, basically, if you want me to leave, you get that stuff out of the house. Why'd you bring that stuff in the house if you want me here? And that was a statement of a jinn to me. And I'm pretty sure that y'all overheard him. No.
So that's it.
So, I mean, ever since then,
Hamza.
It's past 10. Like, you tell them we already agreed. Like, Ahsan alaykum. Ustad, is the opinion of the scholars who said it is. He already answered this. He already answered. It's the same question, a different wording.
what is
Ustad, is the opinion of the scholars who said it is permissible for a woman to travel without a mahram a valid opinion?
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Ada?
Huh?
Adab.
Yeah, we gotta go.
That's what I said.
We gotta-
He already answered it.
It's too late to answer it too. I mean, they can go back and check the previous. When we talk about it.